Hello, this is the Eye of the Swarm, and for this Halloween special, I'll be looking at the latest Resident Evil game, that being Resident Evil Village. Or more accurately, Resident Evil 8, since that's basically what this game is. And I'm gonna talk about most of the stuff. You have to experience most of it for yourself. But I will show you the basics, as well as my favorite monster and my favorite character in the game. Now, let's get into what little story this has, with the motivation and why you're in this dark village filled with European monsters and vicious yokai. You must save your infant baby girl from the creatures of the night. There are also a lot of texts you can look at. This is only a small example. You can read it if you want, just pause the video, but I'm not really gonna focus it on that much. Now, let's move on to the map. Alright. Now let's get into it. Blue areas mean you have searched everything. If it is red, that means there's something in there. And this map does not show enemies, so you'll be into one hell of a surprise. And if you're wondering what gray is, well, I will show it right about now. Aww, don't you find this beautiful? This is possibly one of the best looking Resident Evil games I have played so far. Anyway, now we go into the darkness. And you can also see the journal notes, as well as a few other things. And if there's a building that is grey, that means you haven't searched it yet. And yeah, now, let's move on to just exploring the village, where we will see our first combat encounter. You won't just be seeing human corpses. Poor horse. I wonder what happened to him. Though, I would really like to rip apart those chickens.
Friendly. Who are you?
But now let's move on to our main enemy.
There was an accident down the
and
road.
I have to admit, they're pretty terrifying. I'll just let this cutscene introduce them. I will talk when actual gameplay is involved, since that is when we do some combat.
They're coming. Who is? What the hell was that? You have a gun? What? Please tell me you have a gun. No, why would I? You totally get there. Take it! Take it! Tell me who's out there. Hey, are you listening? Hey! What the? Shit! Dead body? Wait, there's more.
This is also the first time you'll get a gun. And, well, there's something else this encounter will give you, which is permanent. And it will be revealed right about now.
Jesus Christ. What the hell is wrong with this place? Shit! What No. Send it back.
Alright, now let's get into combat. You must aim very carefully when using guns. And as you can see here, you can block to avoid enemy attacks, even though I like it. Should be able to overpower you. If you don't block, they'll get a successful bite on you and you lose health. You can heal yourself, but you have to be very careful. You can also reload as seen there, and I'm going to just show you the rest of this battle. And also the pistol's the weakest weapon in the game, but trust me, you will get more. That I promise you. Anyway, now let's watch this battle with this single like it.
What the hell?
What the hell indeed. Now I'm going to just show you some minor gameplay things, you know, things that you have to do around the environment. And let's start off on what's the knife you can do, the real first weapon in the game. And I'll show it right. You can use the knife to break boxes, saving ammo. And this is also a good opportunity to reveal the menu. Like in RE4, you can actually see what items you can put, items to craft, key items, don't have any at the moment, and treasures, which I will get to, but there is a few more things I need to show. Trust me, there are. Though that doesn't mean that you shouldn't shoot at anything other than enemies. You can use it to shoot cages that contain stuff, as well as little secrets like gems in the wall. And who do you sell these gems to? Well, I'll show you. I would like to show off two of the weapons before we go into my favorite part. The first is the shotgun, which, as you can see, can blow off enemies' heads. And the other is a landmine, which is pretty self-explanatory. It can be used for defensive purposes. And also, there is a bit of guarding here, like in that one level in Resident Evil 4. And as you can see, it's very effective. Now, let's move on to my favorite character, who is the Merchant, or the Duke, in this case. Now, let's see his little
I've been waiting for you, Mr. Winter.
Afterwards, what he does.
How do you know my name?
Anyone who is anyone has heard of the likes of you. A hero searching for his daughter. Though I must say, that castle arouses suspicion.
Yeah, and so do you.
I am but a humble merchant.
Here?
Oh, forgive my manners. Call me the Duke. Now to business. Weapons, ammunition, healing salves, anything you desire, I can provide.
Yes. Now, let's look into his shop.
Yes.
You can
I've
get
gotten some new
supplies,
stock.
which include instructions to make new weapons, landmines, ammo, as well as improve your weapons. As well as the most important thing, selling your items. Though, there's one thing I would like to say. Some treasures you can combine. I will show that next, but I would like to first show you upgrading your
at
weapons.
all sorts of weapons
And I'm going to
modifications,
start
and will
by
do them for a small
upgrading this
fee.
shotgun.
One moment, please.
Now, with this, I can shoot 7 shots instead of 6. Now, there's not much else I can buy, but trust me, Old Merchie here will give us more stuff as the game goes on. You can also get things like this to increase your inventory. So there's a lot of reasons you
This is
should
all an
visit the
investment,
merchant.
Ethan. Please come again.
Now on to combining treasures. But before I do, there's something you need to learn. If you scroll around certain items, you can find quest things, a few more equipment, and other stuff. Trust me, this will be very useful later on. Also, on a slight side note, you can also combine various items to make ammo, health, whatever. Now on to actually combining treasures. Some treasures are separate, and others are not. But those that can be combined should be, because you will get a much higher reward. Take this goat's toy, for example. There are also various lockpicks you'll have to find, and when you do, you get special items. Take this one, for example. You get sniper rifle ammo. Speaking of which, now it is time to talk about some of my favorite creatures in the game. Before any of you say it is Lady Dementia in the comments or her daughters, no, I do not consider them my favorite monsters. I actually prefer the ones that are a bit more inhuman. Though I do have to admit that her daughters are interesting and that Lady Dementia's giant claws are a nice touch, and her final form when she finally fights cool. And I will show you what that
Mother,
looks like.
I bring you
right
fresh prey.
You are so kind.
Looks like your outside matches your inside. Son of a witch.
You're finished.
My actual favorite monster is Lord Moreau, which, well, he doesn't seem that impressive at first, but oh, trust me, he becomes much better. Take a look at this scene where he reveals his true form. The first hint is right here, as something very large swims past.
What was that?
But soon, the truth is revealed, as Moreau is actually like the host. Specifically, the truth is revealed in this scene, and I'm just gonna let it play out.
Shit, stay
and
back.
then talk about what you have to do gameplay-wise.
The exit's underwater. You're done.
I don't have time for this. Miranda sent you to slow me down? You're pathetic. What are you talking about? The fuck is wrong with you?
Now you must run away from the gigantic fish monster and make it to dry land. And if you notice, there's a dam in the background. That's how you'll drain the water. Though, I want to show you a bit of the gameplay where you escape from this fish.
stinks.
Possibly my most favorite part is when you have to use these bridges. You better make sure these things are risen up, or you'll get swept under the water. Which, well, given how fast this thing is, you really don't want to do that. And, well, let's move on to the actual boss fight as we get eaten. Once you get the switch, which you need to do several puzzles in order to do it, you'll drain the lake, depriving that fish creature of its element. But don't think because it is aquatic means it will suffocate and die. Oh no, it can walk, as shown here.
My precious water.
Now we make our way to the boss arena, where we actually fight this creature. And I have to admit, he does very much look like the host. And I will prove this, even if it kills me. Anyway, now let's move on to the fight itself. Now you jump down here and enter his battle arena, which is just a bunch of flooded houses. Well, his body is too heavily armored, so you must use special weapons in order to
I guess I gotta do this.
or cause an explosion to happen, which will reveal his weak spot, which is inside his mouth. Luckily, there are explosive barrels, as well as the ability to create explosive rounds in your grenade launcher to make him upchuck. But be careful, even though he cannot one-shot you with his gigantic size, he still deals a lot of damage to bring a lot of help in this engagement. Oh, and in terms of attacks, a single bite and lunge can also destroy buildings, as you see right there. You can also spit out a cone of acid in two ways. One is a straight up beam, the other way is spit to the sky and it just rains acid. And yeah, the main reason I like him is, well, he's basically the host from the movie The Host, meaning he's the only real kaiju you fight in this game, and I love me some giant monsters. Even though there is something more appropriate for that title, but that's in the game, you don't even get to fight it. That's all I'll say about it. Anyway, now let's cap this off with his death scene. Enjoy! After this, you get his crystalline...
In death as he was in life.
I do not know
Disgusting.
what to call that. Anyway, now that is it. There's more to this game, but I want to show you some of the extra features. Like, for example, the Mercenary mode. Hehehehe. Do you remember that? From Resident Evil Nemesis? Here is the actual Mercenary mode. And, well, it's pretty simple. I haven't really played around with it that much, since I mainly play the story of most games. But I hope you guys enjoy it. It starts off by you being in the room of the castle where Duke is, and there's actually a reason for that. You can actually buy a variety of weapons from him for these various mercenary tasks, which involves mainly playing through various levels of Resident Evil Village, but with an endless swarm of lichens and zombie-like creatures coming your way. and I still don't get it, but it should be very fun with you. You unlock this mode after the main story, so there's a reason you should play through it.
Aha!
Now,
This is all an investment. Till next we
let's
meet.
see what else you can buy in the menu. And here's where you get the Mercenary mode, as well as various weapons, which even include a lightsaber, several concept art, figurines, and a bunch of other stuff. It's really worth your time. That's all I'll say about this. Now, I will end this off with showing you off the similarities between Moreau and the host, which I'll show you right now. But before that, I just want to show off this little figurine. Isn't it cool? You can get a variety of these for pretty much every creature in the game. Anyway, now let's move on to the comparison. Don't these guys look similar? You'll probably hear more about this on my DeviantArt. Anyway, now let's end this how it started.
Long
with
ago,
a fairy tale.
a young girl
So
went with
like,
her mother to
comment,
pick berries
and
for her
subscribe,
father who was
and
hard at
hopefully the
work.
future of Resident
But the
Evil
forest greeted
will
them with a
be
dark, cold silence.
as legendary
The bush
as
is
this.
empty.
Now,
Yet
watch
determined to
this
find
and
berries,
have
the
fun
rascal broke
in
free
the
of Mother's
night.
grasp and vanished into the trees. Mother's worried cries faded fast as the girl ran on over vine, under branch, and into the forest deep. Feeling strange eyes upon her, the girl recalled Mother's scary bedtime tales, and her throat became bone dry. Then the Bat Lord appeared. He greeted her warmly and bit his own wing. "Come, child, quench your thirst," he said. So she drank the thick, dark blood and smiled with joy. Passing through a graveyard, menacing storm clouds loomed and the air turned bitingly cold. The girl shivered in her thin clothes. Then a dark weaver appeared, and with a click of his fingers crafted mist into a beautiful dress. "Come, child, warm yourself," he coaxed. So she clothed herself and smiled with joy. Across waters deep and ominous she went, hoping a boat she found would carry her home. But hunger's grip tightened and her heart grew heavy. Then the Fish King appeared and offered one of his many fins. "Come, child, eat your fill." So the girl ate and smiled with joy once more. Continuing on, she soon entered the forest's dark heart. Then an iron steed appeared, bearing a beautiful golden gear. The creature said nothing as the girl approached and snatched what she thought was another gift. The horse grew angry and summoned the other monsters. Terror filled the girl's heart as a wild wind rose about the beasts. Suddenly, a witch appeared, dark yet regal. "Gifts we gave, but more you took," she snarled, "so more in turn is due." In a blink, the girl was trapped inside a mirror. Her parents, though, had searched all day and at last arrived. With rampant rage, Father fought the witch, while Mother's loving touch shattered the dark enchantment. But the witch was strong, and Father yelled, "Save our daughter!" So Mother bore their child to safety as the forest was consumed. Even now, the burnt forest is a grim reminder of Father's sacrifice. To this day, any child who stares too long into the charred wasteland will be haunted by nightmares of getting lost while picking berries.